Good evening, everyone. Week 19 of Show Me Your Medals, and we're into April, which means we're close to the finishing line.
We are indeed.
That doesn't need to be a finishing line. It's done.
You got 2 foot over that finishing line already.
Yeah,
to
12,
be fair,
was it 12 points ahead?
12 points.
No.
yeah,
No
it was
questions
fun.
now.
It's quite funny, but like since obviously we just come back on an international break, which felt like forever. I think it was only about 1.5 weeks. It felt like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and we've said it because the Prem's all tied up. Football's taken kind of a back seat, right? You're like even before we just come, we was like, shit, I don't even know what's been going on, and it's like you're not really catching these games now. It's just lost this kind of
But I think it's because of the way the league has ended up this time round. If it was closer, it would be different. Everyone would be all eyes on it. But the fact of the matter is that Liverpool have won it, and no one really cares.
Yeah,
apart from Dave.
And not just that. Also, like there's no been like proper like standout team kind of thing, like sexy football kind of thing. It's been everyone's been shit basically. Everyone is shit. Arsenal's been losing all their players, so basically you barely know what Arsenal's team sheet looks like, or it looks like a C team. Man United's been awful. Even City themselves are crap. Chelsea and Spurs played today, proper dog shit. You know, so like you know what I mean. There's nothing gripping about this season to anyone kind of thing. I think
that's
That's Dave's fault. That's Liverpool's fault. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I was going to say that's more than others. Nothing to do with Liverpool, obviously.
But you know, like all the previous seasons, there's always been like quite interesting, and then like some teams are performing well at least. We haven't got any of these. You know what I mean? Like even there's nothing much to talk about in terms of Newcastle, the Brightons, and even West Ham are shit. Everyone is basically pretty shit, and it kind of sums up what football is looking like at
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that to some extent. I think it's down to.
He's only saying that because Nottingham Forest beat him.
Of course.
No. It's down to the others. Obviously, I think Liverpool maintaining that different style of football, but we're retaining that level that we had.
Do you know what? I don't think Liverpool's playing sexy football in the first place. They're just really consistent. Been really consistent. Salah's been on top form.
Yeah, we played sexy football last year. We didn't fucking win football.
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's the story of the like football in the Premier League right now, because you have a lot of these teams that are coming up that are playing like low blocks against the more difficult teams, and it just makes that spectacle. And that's why every time Arsenal plays someone that does play out, attacking football or whatever, you do see us flourishing. But when it comes to the time where it's low block, like 2 banks of 4, it's just really difficult to break down for any team, for any club. And that's why I believe it's just become more boring football now. The style of football now. It's just the lower or mid-table teams are really clinging on to the financials of being in the Premier League. And that's the reason I feel that they play the way that they play. And that's in turn reflected on the style of football that you see day in, day out. During this time.
Okay. Whereas before, only Stoke did it. Now half the Premiership doesn't do it.
And Burnley.
Yeah. Stoke and Burnley, used to do it. Like Forest to some extent do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though they're flying high, you look at their results. It's like 1-0, 1-0. Like Arsenal used to do 1-0 to Arsenal. So no, I agree with that to some extent. Like even yesterday, Everton would like.
By the way, saying that, red or not,
100% red, man. Oh my god, it's as red as
I hate Liverpool anyway, but
it's as red as
that's a red.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how shit these referees are. Like, how's VAR looking at that? Oh yeah, it's okay. The only thing, like, basically, it's
a red for Arsenal.
It's just, yeah, probably. Here we go again. But you know what? Probably is, maybe. But it's, oh man, like, but basically, the only thing I can think of is the ref sees, he played the ball first and not a red. But that's not how it looked. It was a stone cold red, man. Lady broke his shin, man.
No, he escaped a broken leg because his foot wasn't fully planted.
Yeah.
If his foot was fully planted, that would have broke. that would have bloody broke, man. Because
It still could have, because it was in the air and then it landed, but there was still contact there and there was still momentum there. That's what I thought was just wow. Oh, that just looked really bad. Slow mo looks even worse, but it was still bad in normal time.
Slow mo, it's red, man. The man just
full speed was awful.
Went right through him.
It was poor Tierney in the bloody VAR, and he's
of course,
he's a proper see you next Tuesday. So
yeah. But it was boring. That match was boring.
Like, the general league was boring, to be fair. That's what I'm saying. Just coming back out of international, this week of the Brents, there's not been much. It kind of sums up like the interest of what's happening.
I don't even know what the international was like. I don't even watch.
That's what I mean. Go again. I didn't watch either of the England games. And I think I looked at the results 2-0, 3-0, or something like that. But it's yeah.
The problem with internationals with England is that you get these kakalaka teams that you don't know. Like, come on, you're going to qualify. If you don't qualify, there's something really wrong with the football play. They have to qualify. It's guaranteed qualification, right? In most cases.
I think they should do the Champions League format, to be honest.
What, to qualify?
Yeah.
They've done...
No, because they have to have like 10 groups.
Nations League, isn't it? That's what
they've
got.
Nations League, yes. I think they did try to.
Because you get promoted through the league ranks. But I don't know if that is for Euros and World Cup. I don't know what that's for. No,
it just means you get a better seeding based on that. But that Nations League, you get to play everyone again. Where I think you just need like the top teams to play the top team. I don't know. It needs revamping because the amount of dead rubber games. Like what are England going to gain anything from fucking Albania? You know.
That's what a lot of pundits are saying right now. Is that fair enough, you qualify through your region, but you're not. You get this false sense of security and hope when you qualify well, 3-0, 4-0, whatever it is. And then you come into the knockout stages and you're playing, the likes of Italy, Spain, and all that. And then it's a completely different level. Why? Because you're not fucking playing the games that way. Even if it's a friendly against those teams, it might help. But it just seems like we not shy away from it, but again, the format isn't just there to kind of help the progression of the international scene.
It's a difficult one to solve, but I think they need to be more competitive to get people to watch it more than anything.
I wonder what the viewing figures are like. If they're still getting viewers and that's what everybody won't care. But if it's like as down as we think it is, that's when they start thinking it's always about
well, isn't it? That's why it's on like ITV and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's still on ITV. Channel 4 had a few international footballs.
Exactly. See.
Anyway, taking it back to Liverpool quickly, change a bit. Trent, Dave, talk to us about Trent. What's your thoughts?
Is it kind of done?
I think it's done deal. The way what I'm seeing online and all of that is done deal. Like when Real Madrid comes knocking, it's done deal, isn't it? Like behind the door.
It was a done deal a long time ago. Otherwise, he would have signed, right?
Yeah.
But they've tried to keep it quiet, and obviously it's been leaked. But obviously, both parties are saying we don't know anything about it because they don't want it to come out.
So,
but what did you? Because you're a fan of Trent, right? Originally, you're a big fan of Trent, or
I am. So
it used to be.
I'm a bit torn because obviously it's happened to a few of the players, McManaman being the one.
On the free as well, isn't it?
On the free. I think even though he won the Champions League and league with Real Madrid, and the Liverpool team weren't that good. I was a bit upset when he left.
McManaman?
The McManaman one shocked me. I remember back in the day because he was a proper well-known player doing well, and I likened him to Giggs. He was up there, right? He was up there. And suddenly
he was a Liverpool legend, but obviously Liverpool weren't at the level they are now when he left. And I felt upset because that's what I thought. Being a local lad, going through the academy, coming through, he would want to stay and win stuff with Liverpool, like Gerrard.
Gerrard wanted to leave, but he got threatened in it. That's the Gerrard story, remember?
Doesn't
So
matter if he got threatened.
yeah, everyone wants to leave Liverpool at one point, but now, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
But-
regardless of whether he threatened or not, he stayed. You know,
Yeah.
he still could have left. Doesn't matter if his family threatened; he can just move more. So I think you got that disparity where, yeah, okay, you might not win everything with Liverpool, might not be that competitive, but Gerrard stayed, and obviously Owen left for Real Madrid for like 8 million, which was like nothing.
8 million
yeah, but that was his last season, though. Of
That
his
was last
contract
season of
again.
his contract. Yeah.
or nothing. 8 million or nothing, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Back then, remember, 8 million is probably, I don't know, 20 odd million, maybe.
So I guess I was less upset about Owen. I think my man being a Scouser, and the same with Trent. The only slight difference with Trent is that Liverpool have a really good side,
Yeah,
so he can stay. Like, obviously, we're going to win the league this season, and I feel that there's not many places that are, well, not many teams are going to do better than Liverpool. I know we're fall short of the Champions League and all that stuff, but Real might not win anything this year. It's possible.
but we always know when Real Madrid comes knocking, every player turns their head. So it kind of makes sense. So then, because it's Real Madrid and he's leaving, does it make you think, okay, yeah, it's understandable? Or are you like, nah, rat, forget him, boo him next time we see him and all of that?
That face tells me everything.
Yeah.
I think, obviously you get your head turned, but you can say no. And
Yeah.
with Liverpool the way they are, it's not like we're fucking like United in fucking 14th and you can't wait to leave.
Yeah, I know.
But
regardless, he's wrapped the league up. He's done what he's done.
Yeah.
It's a good sign-off. It's a perfect sign-off, do you get what I mean? And I always say when it happens, you put yourself in their shoes. It's Real Madrid. You've won
Leave
the
on a
league.
high.
What's going to get better?
Yeah.
You want to try a new thing. Drew Bellingham's there, kind of thing. His best mate. All the Real Madrid's got a history of kind of buying the Brits or whatnot, kind of
Yep.
thing. So it's all there. And then the Champions League, the glitz and the glamour. We know the history of Real Madrid. Like, they're always in a sniffing around the Champions League. Even this season.
Yeah.
Play with, what is it, French Rashford up front. Who's going to say no? You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Put like this, right? If you were at United,
Yeah.
boyhood club, and Real Madrid came calling,
That's
Would you
Beckham, isn't it?
Yeah,
Would you
actually,
No,
individually, and same Will, you're Arsenal, you're number one player, Real Madrid coming. Do you leave?
We don't have number one player right now.
No,
Saka, maybe
he's saying
Saka. Let's
if
just
you
say
was a
Saka.
footballer.
No,
No,
I'm
no,
talking about
hey,
you.
I'm
I'm
saying
talking about
you-
you. I'm not talking about. I'm talking
They
about
saying
your
if you was a
players.
footballer.
Oh, me, as in like I'm an Arsenal player.
Yeah.
the best
player,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, came up through the ranks through Haaland, and then Real Madrid knock on the door.
Would you leave?
Oh, do you know what? It'd be unfinished business with Arsenal because I think obviously I would turn my head for that. And I think if the money's right, then I'll probably go because it's Real Madrid. But I feel like for me, there's unfinished business at Arsenal. We're so close, and we're that much closer at the moment. It would be a shame, especially Andrea Berta's come in, new sporting director, going to get some new signings in, strengthen the squad even more. Yeah, I'll stay for the project.
I think everything you painted we'll say will stay, but it's like when you say if you become a multi-millionaire and win the lottery, how much would you give to friends? And when you think about it theoretically, you say, "I'm giving this, giving that," but when it's real life, things change. You get what I mean? So I think if you ask me, I'm always of the kind man. If you love this club as a youngster, and your dream to play with them, you want to play with them for the rest of your life. You get what I mean? But in real terms, things change.
I know money talks, and
But hold on, you talked about the money. If rumors are correct, and article correct, he's actually going for less money that Liverpool's offering him.
I was going to say it is less money. He's basically getting a huge sign-on fee, and that's it. But
and his brother's his agent.
I heard it was Liverpool was messing him about in some way when he was injured at the point of time when he was injured. It was something about he wasn't considered or had any contractual renewal talks during his injury period time. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's the right lines of it. It was only up until he's come back and he's playing
We-
decent.
we might-
I
we
don't
might-
say
we-
he's well.
We might hear the truth if it comes out, but I think that is actually normal. Like if
Yeah, but if you're talking about a loyal, you want the kid's loyalty. He stuck it out, through, and he's had a bad patch. But then your club that you've supported and been loyal to hasn't been showing that level of commitment to you by saying, "Here, look, Trent, I know you're going through this. We're going to renew your contract. This is what it looks like." I don't think he had any negotiation, any talks around that for his renewal until that last final year, to kind of try and get something done, because and it's not just Trent, it's Van Dijk and Salah as well, right?
yeah, Van Dijk and Salah are slightly different because they're old.
They're older, yes, but then you would still say that Salah's been banging it in the whole season. Why are you not?
But we didn't know that at the start of the season. I'm just saying when Salah.
But the trajectory of his performance is very consistent on that point.
It's the same with Partey. Partey's leaving, isn't he? You're not.
Do you know what? I'd have it. I'd keep him.
But you haven't tied him down.
But the thing is, we've got replacement in Zubimendi in him now.
Wow, you haven't signed him, have you?
It pretty much wrapped up though. I've heard that it's pretty much wrapped up, Zubimendi,
Okay.
from January.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
We'll see. I think older players are always slightly treated differently, and obviously we didn't know Salah was going to bang it in now,
But he's been doing that season in and out.
Yeah. But last season wasn't as prolific. This season, obviously, he's been very prolific. Yeah. Don't forget, obviously he's in form now, but a year older, people. Players
it will. You will physically. It's like FM. It drops as soon as you hit 32. It drops.
He might be banging in now, and there's no reason why he won't continue. But let's say if he's a year older next season and he stops.
Well, you just extend it a couple of years, but he'll probably want more, isn't it?
Yeah, because it was.
I can see Saudi knocking on a door for it.
I agree. We should tie him down because it's obviously been really, really good. But I can see the hesitation. And same with Van Dijk, and we might lose all three.
But that's the thing. Who do you replace him with? Like, I don't see any real.
Honestly, I would
right wing.
Defence. I would buy both the Forest centre backs.
Einar and
no, Morello and that
Elanga. Oh
no,
centre backs.
Yeah. Yugoslavian or Serbian.
Yeah. Both of them have been solid for Forest this season, and I think you buy both the pair. If that was me, but and then right wing, Salah's going to be missing, but there's still players out there. It's like Championship Manager regenerations, isn't it? Regens.
Regen.
I love how basically every topic we go through, FM always pops up. Like we bring it back to Championship Manager, what it does,
because it's so true.
It's so true. It's much like real life. But yeah, I think. Well, when we talked about it a few weeks ago, like there's a rebuilding job at City. There's going to be a rebuilding job at Liverpool, United. Arsenal probably close, so it'd be we'll have to see. I think back to the original question. With Trent, I think I'm still a bit wounded from his decision to leave. But
if you was at the game at the next or the final game of the season, would you boo him?
No, I'll go to him.
Yeah,
and I'll ask him. No, I'll be excited about it. I won't go slapping him. I go ask him, like, why are you really leaving? You've got everything here. Everyone loves you. Liverpool are probably one of the top sides in Europe, on par with Real Madrid.
No, not on par.
No, yeah,
not on par.
No, I wouldn't say on
close.
par.
I
No
wouldn't
way.
say on par, but
But
it's up. You Liverpool are up there with the
No, obviously,
every player in the world would want to play for Real Madrid. You can't
Yeah,
say
if
that
they
about
had
Liverpool.
said, do you want to choose between
Yeah,
Liverpool
you
or
can't say that
Real?
about
no,
Liverpool.
on par in terms of performance, not stature.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
they are the
this season, yeah.
yeah. That's what I'm comparing. I'm not saying we're a bigger club than Real Madrid because they're. I think are they number one or was it United number one? I don't know.
Things have changed. No, I don't think it's United anymore, mate.
No, in terms of like the biggest, largest financial.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's about United no more.
Okay.
Like that's been slowly
So
chipped away.
I think we're on par for performance, which is like why like you still got the same chance of winning stuff with Liverpool as you did with Real Madrid. So, but
Right now, yeah, the how the trajectory of
yeah,
the team at the moment.
yeah, that's
But my concern is there's going to be huge changes next season for Liverpool. I mean, we talked about the changes last season, but here you are winning the league.
But it's the same at Real. They're losing Ancelotti this season. So,
But this season there'll be a stark contrast in terms of the team personnel. In terms of the new season,
and it's interesting where Trent's going to play because obviously Real have been pursuing Trent for a long time as a see him as a replacement for Carvajal, who got injured for the season. But when he comes back,
Carvalho's older. I think he's like 34.
I know Trent's going to replace him, but I don't think he's immediately going to replace him.
that's fine.
So,
but you never know. He'll probably do Jude, and be up there with Jude. You never know.
See. We'll see. But yes, I'm bitter and upset. But if he wants to leave, you can't stop him. But I think that stops his legacy. Stops.
Mm-mm.
I think that's what it does. It stops his legacy. Whereas Gerrard will always have that legacy, and McManaman to a certain extent. But
Gerrard didn't win anything. Champions League, yeah.
Yeah, put some respect on that name, bro.
Sorry,
Pipe dream.
But he respect no respect.
Sorry. The man.
Okay, he didn't win the league, but a lot of players haven't won the league.
My guy has. My guy has.
Anyway,
well, speaking of that, do you know what? Yesterday, it was good to see our star boy back. I was lifted, but then it just all came crashing down with the realization with Timber and Gabriel out versus Real Madrid, which we say they can pull anything out of the bag. Even paying the referees and that. But no, seriously.
Do you think it's a mistake playing them?
What? Who's them? You mean Gabriel?
Well,
Gabriel and Timber.
You had to play Gabriel. You always got to play your
Yeah.
You're not going to suddenly cut back on your.
I wouldn't say it was a mistake. I wouldn't say a mistake at all. It is just bad luck on that front because he's been fit all throughout for a long time. So for that to happen, and apparently it's a surgery. He's getting surgery on that hamstring.
Out for the season.
So yeah, that is a big blow. And it's funny. We started the season. We were saying, "Why we've got all these defenders?" And then all of a sudden, we haven't got any defenders, even though we've got a bankload of defenders in the squad. Ben White. I don't know what's going on with Ben White. Timber's injury is a blow as well because he's been class for us. I'd rather have a solid defense than Saka because we've got Ranieri.
I was going to propose that question. I was going to say, would you prefer?
I'd rather Saka still out. I'd rather Saka still out and then have a solid defense. Yeah, because Real's attack, maybe we can settle it with the defense, but without the defense, I think seeing Kivior in there, it was just a joke. He's just in deep waters at the moment. That guy, don't know. I'm not too sure. He's got no pace. His awareness is lacking. Positioning very, very, very bad. Yeah, I don't know what it's done. I think That's it. Our season's
I just
done.
look. Yeah, it's Tuesday. The game Real Madrid with next week.
Tuesday.
But there's
Yeah.
still a game versus Everton in between that. So,
Everton. Yeah.
Dave, it would have been very rare for Arsenal to rest, certain players so soon as well. So,
You wouldn't rest. You wouldn't rest them. You've just had a long break. I think that's what it is. The injury came through the extended break.
Didn't he not play international?
Gabriel, I don't think he did actually. I'm not sure. Martinelli did. Martinelli looked sharp as well. That's why I was thinking, even if it was Martinelli, Marino, and Ranieri up top, then you got Partey, Rice, and Odegaard in the midfield. It kind of gives us a chance because of the back line that we have.
Okay.
It would have been Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Miles Lewis-Kelly.
Yeah. So do you think you should play a weakened side against Everton then? Given that
nothing to play for in the Premier League, so yes.
Yeah.
Get everyone rested and maybe put them on for, maybe even if it's half a game to keep maintain the match fitness, but I wouldn't risk it at all. I'd play 12 points is done. There's no way Liverpool's going to lose 4 games. There's no way. Absolutely no way. Because we'd have to win those games as well. It just doesn't make any sense for us to charge on. So if he plays Saliba, I'll be pissed.
I think
that's the problem.
For sure. Because another thing, you have to secure second spot as well, guys. Don't you think that's done and dusted? You know what I mean?
That's what I used to do for Championship Manager. I used to rest all my players before a big game.
Whatever, before a big game, you save your file, and if you fuck out, you restart.
I think for us, top 4 is in the bag. We don't need to.
Yeah, no, but it's
worry about that.
Top 4's in the bag, but the top 2, like finishing second, is a big difference to third. And this, I think.
What does it give you seeding?
Qualifications and see all of that majig. So
yeah,
and obviously you want to finish second. Man. You don't want to finish third. You want to finish strong, isn't it? So 100% Saliba's playing that game, man.
Do you know what? The more I think and look back on if when people say, "Oh, you've bottled the league" and stuff like that. In some ways, yes, but I'm swaying more towards, our squad wasn't ready. I said from the start of summer, from that summer transfer window when it shut, we didn't get a striker. That is an indication that we're not ready at all. Heaven's sake, we're playing Marino in striker.
Yeah, but your squad is virtually the same as last season.
Yes.
Right.
And that's why we're where we are right now. There's been no real improvements as such. But to say that that's the same with Liverpool, there hasn't been really new additions for Liverpool.
Yeah, but
then they've come through with the consistency.
How many points were you at last season at this stage?
I think it was 9 or 6 or something like that.
No,
we weren't too far. We weren't too far at all. We were quite close, I think. But that's the issue right now. Is now that we've got a well-renowned sporting director in Andrea Berta, I think there'll be a bit more movement and a bit more know-how in the way that we sign and retain players now, and selling them, because we've been over the past 3, 4, 5 years, we haven't been selling players for anything really. They've been going away on frees or loans and for peanuts. So hopefully this season round, or this season going forward, there'll be a bit more emphasis on our transfers in and out. Yeah, that's it for Arsenal. We just need to. I know we've got Everton. I don't really care about the Everton game now because the Prem's done. But
Prem is done. Like,
yeah,
even
I'm worried.
Relegation,
Yeah, I'm worried. Worried
done.
about Real and our back line. It does not look great at all.
Still, Champions League is something to look good to look forward to, though. Actually, those matches.
It's on Amazon, by the way. Amazon
Prime. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Champions League. Okay.
So you don't need to do the dodge.
enough of football.
United. Oh no, enough of football. Okay.
Enough of much of United, right? Like, I just want the season to end. I mean, the saving grace would be Europa League. Like, if we get that, then happy days. But other than that,
Just want you to squirm a little bit.
yeah,
That's all.
no, okay. In terms of Forest, losing to Forest 1-0 is actually quite respectable this season. Do you know what I mean? He weren't a 3-0
You
loss.
see the depths
Yeah.
he's gone to.
Yeah,
Dave.
you take a
I
1-0,
know.
you take a
It's not
1-0 loss,
bad.
right? But okay,
Losing
quickly
1-0 is a
on
good
United,
result.
did you not see Maguire going up front? Yeah, he had a few.
Slabbed.
He looked
Oh.
alright, you know. I saw a little clip of
He
his
had, he, had that,
movement.
he, had,
Yeah,
he had that shot that was cleared off the line.
yeah, he had a shot that cleared off the line, and then I watched the clip. Honestly, and they were analysing his movement. It's actually pretty good. Like, he was making certain runs and whatnot.
The
And
new striker, yeah.
yeah. But man, come on, man. That's
But
the depth that United's gone to.
I know, but that stat, that thing you put up, Paul.
He's got more XG than Haaland in 15 minutes.
True?
Yeah. Of course, it's true.
That's ridiculous, though.
Yeah, nothing of United. We're good crap, man. We're just gonna pray for that cup final if we make that.
Against
everything else-
But let's be honest. United is the
banter clubs at the moment. Yeah.
look. You let go of Langer. Rashford's doing really well at Villa now.
Man, Rashford is actually proving me wrong, right? He's actually like lighting it up, bro.
Yep.
Like it's don't know what it is. Maybe once you leave United, you just play more freedom.
It's the way the clubs ran. It's militant. It's just players. You turn into a robot.
Yeah.
Because when you're younger, you don't care. Young Rashford, you don't care. You don't listen to all that. But the older you get, the more training, media training, or a lot of stuff goes into like how you should be a certain way. You're at United, just as Jadon Sancho said, freedom, isn't it?
No, but don't mention Shanto because he's shit, man. He actually is shit. He's not doing anything at Chelsea.
He's not built for the Prem. He's not built for the Prem.
That's what it is.
German league.
He's
for him.
He's definitely coming back to United. I don't think Chelsea are going to buy him. So.
Yeah, the Sancho one. I heard that they had an obligation to buy on that Sancho one.
But I think they have to
got
pay.
a termination fee.
There's an obligation to buy, and if you break it, you pay them something. That's what I heard. So,
They'd rather pay you something to break it, bro.
Yeah,
jokes. Yeah, it's a bit.
On,
yeah, like you said, there's a bit of a procession now, so it's not really anything exciting.
Yeah,
it's more about the cups now.
But like I said, it's about the Champions League and the Europa Cup. The Champions League for the prestige and the Europa Cup out of hope. Like the match is actually pretty shit, but the Champions League, loads of games to look forward to, and especially see if Arsenal can pull and Mbappe out of the bag or whatnot. Okay, and then we didn't do predictions last time because obviously we had a massive break. FPL, anyone doing any good? I think
back in lobster table.
Oh yeah,
only for a short time. I think I'm back down again by calculation. Did Palmer do anything?
You got assist.
He got an assist. Okay, yeah. but Ting's got 11 points on the bench, so I don't think that's enough. I think she just edges me out.
Yeah, she edges you back, and I was gonna say. Yeah, I thought Ting did terribly, but yeah, she's got that Elanga coming on.
Yeah.
Wow, man, I got
lobster table. Oh, it's still close, and I'm 40 points behind you, Will. And Dave is.
I had Enzo on the bench.
Do you know what'd be funny? The last spot, that 12th spot, would be battle between us three, which is looking like it at the moment. Because Ken is a little bit ahead of you, another 30 points on top of that. So the next one that we're all viewing is Ting and Will, isn't it? It's quite jokes.
Yeah, it's a slug out right now. I don't know.
No, it is because did you get any points tonight?
I got the Palmer assist.
Yeah, first one.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone similar points this week for a lot of people. Teams.
It's because everyone captained Salah, so it was like offset.
Yeah, the 50 range, 50 to 60 range. Yeah, like me and you, Dave, you got 63, it's quite a bit more than me.
Yeah, because
you've done all right, Dave. You got 70 because you got bench points.
Yeah, I got.
I'll take that back. No, you did quite good. You did pretty well.
I think Ting comes back into it just. I might have clung on to, I might have just slightly clung on, but.
What's your captain picks this week looking like?
This week is
Newcastle.
man. We're so close.
Leicester.
Should I be even telling you we're this close to each other?
We're
I shouldn't be telling
proper
you.
rivals now, innit?
I'm
Proper
going.
rivals.
Well, what I'm going to say is I've gone differential now. I'm going differential from now on, unless it's like a dead cert for Salah. But
Dead cert is Isaac versus Leicester.
well, yeah, but yeah,
Although
I need
I've just
to
seen a
see.
yellow flag for some reason.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
Very
I'm
good
not sure.
advice.
I don't know. What looks tasty?
You guys still got chips?
Nah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. I'm using my assistant manager now.
Okay, you
I only
still
got
got that.
4 points
I've
there.
still got bench boost, free hit, and wild card.
Oh, by the sounds of it, you definitely should like make that lobster table, right? Like with those chips, those points
Yeah.
in your armory.
Well, the free hit one's going to come in quite nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
Game week 32, I think it is. Is it 32?
Yeah, you got Arsenal.
No,
double
not
game.
32.
Oh,
2 more blanks.
30,
coming up.
34. Because there's only
There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Yeah, there's two games missing on 34.
yeah.
All right, I guess another £10 to going to you, Dave.
Standard.
Okay. Predictions this week?
Yeah, let's do some.
Will?
predictions. What have we got? Everton, Arsenal. Everton have been doing all right under Moisey, and it's away as well. So we've got to be careful of that. We probably won't field anyone because of Tarkovsky in that defense, trying to break legs everywhere. Got to keep Saliba safe.
Protect your players.
Do you know what? I think Everton might get it this time round. Arsenal are looking weak. I know we've got Saka back, but he's just going to be more rested than he is going to be playing. He'll probably come on for a cameo for fitness. So I reckon Everton 2-1.
Everton 2-1.
Yeah.
You know what I'll do? A cheeky lunchtime game, Arsenal-Everton. I'll go for a 0-0.
I was going to do that, but I'll go 1-1.
Okay.
Did you hear someone say about? I was just saying about 0-0 in terms of how the Premier League and style of play has gone on right now. Someone said, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that if the team play for a draw, which is a 0-0, then they should get 0 points. But if the team scores a goal and it's draw, so both teams score but it's a draw, then they get the 1 point. That makes more sense, right? So it stops teams from actually sitting in the back, sitting in from.
But I think that I'm trying to work out, like, it's got to favour a certain team and punish. It's not all fair in that,
No, it's going to benefit teams like Everton. No, well, not actually.
No, but what I'm saying is that so they both get
0.
Like, let's say Everton they're playing the defensive football, which is what we're trying to avoid,
Yeah.
But Arsenal desperately needs that 1 point. It's punishing. It's punishing Arsenal unfairly, right? Like, what if Arsenal needs a point to win the league?
Yeah.
They don't technically need 3 points to win the league. It's punishing them not. The draw should be a good result for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I know. It's punishing the attacking team that can't break down.
Yeah. One team is happy with whatever.
With 0 points.
Yeah, one team. But would you? Can you?
You
I know what you're saying, because
if you're struggling, if you're that team that you're struggling, you need the points to move up the table.
Yeah.
I think when it comes around to April time, it's a bit more harsh, right? Because, like you say, the relegation is done now. There's no one going to get relegated. So why not play for football?
Yeah, I get what you mean, because
I know what you're trying to do. I think it's still on the emphasis of that team to break down that low block, even though it's really difficult.
So I think why we breaking it down, it would rule out a team playing low block, because we're both going to get no points. So So literally no points doesn't benefit anybody. So then that team, instead of sitting back, be like, let's sit back, we might as well try and get a goal, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then if you get a goal and then you draw with goals, then fair enough.
Just emphasis of, let's get this goal. We need a goal.
I think that even though I agree with it, what's more going to happen? Teams are going to get battered.
That's good.
If Twitch, Southampton,
that will give you the exciting game, though. That will give you the exciting game.
I know, but it's going to be more 4-0s and 5-0s going on.
I think it's
Do you not want to see goals or what?
No.
What is it?
in theory, it's actually a really good proposal, but it will never happen. But if you think about it, it's actually
No,
it is pretty good.
I do agree with it. I do agree with it.
Yeah.
But then it's
We'll
like
put a poll. We'll put a poll in our chat.
Yeah.
And see what
Would it work?
But it's going to be sad to see United get thrashed every week.
Yeah, we need to attack. Put Maguire up front all the time. Play 2 at the back.
He's actually going to go explode, boy.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Yeah, but everyone's. What are you saying, Dave, for Everton Arsenal? Sorry, I'm
1-1.
1-1. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's Fulham Liverpool.
We've got nothing to play for, but we'll still probably want to finish the league strong. We probably still feel our best team because there's nothing else to play. Fulham a bit.
Shit, did we give you a guard of honor by the time it gets to us?
I think we talked about this.
no, it needs to be. The league needs to be wrapped up, right? And then you play that game.
Yeah. But it's 12 points ahead. How many points available? 8 times 3. Okay.
We need to win 4 games.
Okay. For it to be wrapped up.
Yeah, we need to win 4 games. We might put it up until Arsenal play Arsenal. But I think
so maybe no guard of honor. Fucking hell.
I think 2-0 Liverpool.
Well,
Liverpool didn't look that great against Everton, though.
but it's Everton though. When I think we've talked about it, they struggle against Everton.
Fulham gonna who's Fulham's Silver, isn't it? Attacking
Manager.
football,
Yeah.
Fulham. Let's go with
His head's turned.
2-1 Liverpool.
Silver's head's turned for Spurs job.
Is that the rumours?
That's his demise, man. Anyone going to Spurs, that's their demise.
Anyway, for me, another 1-0 Liverpool.
Yeah.
And then the juicy
Tasty one,
City, Manchester derby.
Mate, 2-1 United this time.
What?
What do you mean, what? 2-1 United, man.
What are you talking about? Oh, wait, no Haaland.
Yeah, there's no Haaland, like, even though he ain't been great, but Liverpool, Man United at home, City always leaking goals. We could do it, man. We do them over. Maguire's going to get the winning goal. There you go. No.
No, do you know what? You put some money down for that.
What? 2-1
Maguire
Maguire score.
to get the winning goal, yeah.
Maguire score header.
Or Maguire to score. It's probably a bit better. Dave?
You guys, what do you think?
I think he hit some form, but I think reality's set back in. Actually, are you playing Europa next week as well?
Yeah, we got Europa. Same. So
But,
it'll be on Thursday.
I guess you wouldn't want to lose a derby as well. That's definitely
No, we'll play the best team, man.
definitely.
And you know what's interesting? City's actually still got a lot to play for because they're still fighting for that fourth.
Yeah. I think City will do you 3-1.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Go for 2-1 or 4-1 now.
Yeah, I can't see 4. Can I? Onana's been bad, man. Back to his good old self. 3-1's juicy. All right, I'll go 3-0 then.
3-0.
Yeah, City.
No, it's not a City of old, guys, man. It's not a City of old. Yeah.
3-0 City.
Anyway, question time?
Yep. You got some?
You done your homework?
Yeah, no, I don't need my homework.
Yeah.
Someone sent me a question in. It's quite a good question, but it says, I need to find it. It says, Dear uncles, I've been going through quite a lot of relationship troubles lately, and I've been on the dating scene. And I've been seeing some girls, and it's like...
Is this Will game?
That's not me.
You ruined my joke, but yeah, it is. Anyway, I've been having a bit of relationship troubles. I've been in the dating scene. I've been seeing girls, and it's not quite there, but some are good, some are bad. But, ultimately, can you choose who you love? That's from Will.
That was not from me.
I might have added some other bits, but
that was not from me. I suggested that one because that came through someone else.
Yeah.
During
Anyway,
conversation.
So yeah, in short summary for Will, can you choose who you love? Dave, go first. Can you choose who you love? Okay, Dave's thinking. Will, answer your own question.
No.
Can you choose who you love?
No, I won't answer that. I'm just thinking because I don't really get it.
Okay, that's fine. Will would
Just
answer the
how you
question, then-
interpret it,
Yeah,
and
then
then
you
just
can-
the interpretation.
I think you can, because obviously you meet someone, and obviously it's got to be reciprocal, but you can choose to love them or you can choose not to, right?
Okay, I think I'm gonna start with that because I think Dave's missed the question a bit, and I'll try to interpret what Will's question.
Okay.
I think it meant, and you could tell me. But basically, if you meet someone and they don't tick all your right boxes, or they tick hardly any boxes, can you still choose to love them? Is that fair, Will?
Mhm.
Like, almost, can you make yourself love someone? Can you choose who you love? As
Okay,
opposed
Well,
to
okay,
you
so
love
it's-
someone.
again, it's a slightly different interpretation
a
to
perfect
mine.
example is arranged marriages, right?
Yeah, that's a good one, because basically you don't love that person, but you're almost forced to love them, and then you do end up loving them. So therefore, can you choose to make yourself love someone, right?
I think you can, but based on circumstances. So I think if you're stranded with this woman on a desert island,
Mm.
there's only you two, then you're sort of forced into that. But then it is a choice still. But yes, I think you can. I think under circumstances you can. Yeah. If there's no sort of, which sounds harsh, if there's no sort of other options,
Then you're saying you can ultimately choose to love them.
yeah. And I
Make
think
yourself love them.
arranged marriages is probably a good example. Some don't work, but some do.
Mm.
And then if you're stranded on a deserted island with only two of you, then you're going to be forced to love each other, I think, or forced to care about each other. Yeah.
So incidentally, this question did come up during conversation with a friend that is a girl, and I was under the same thing. It's like, of course you can choose who you love. Like you choose to go out with this person, and then you just you learn about them, you become more acquainted, you get to know them more over a period of time. Then obviously you choose in yourself to say, oh, I want to be with this person. But interestingly, what she said was like, no, sure, of course you can't choose that person, because who are you going to know in the next room, or the next room that you enter, that is the person that you're going to choose to love. Like it just comes to you. You don't choose that actual person to be in love with. It's the fate of it all is the love that it comes to when you start to feel something for that person. Like there's a few examples of actually friends that started not really liking each other. They don't really like each other, but the more time they spent together, it just became, for them, a stronger feeling through, I don't know what it might be, is just more time spent learning about each other, understanding each other. So in the initial first instance, they didn't choose to be together and love each other in that sense, did they? It just grew in time.
So, but that example you gave is kind of like, I don't know, fate love, isn't it? Kind of fate.
A little bit.
We led to that way, and
you
then
led to that. Yeah, you led to that point.
Yeah,
because it was supposed to happen, rather than it. Oh, because let's be honest. The people that let's take the dating apps for example. Obviously you're swiping and you're choosing, but you're just choosing by appearance. You're not choosing to love them. You're just choosing by appearance, or what you see you find interesting in their profiles, right? You don't choose to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to love this person straight off the bat, right?
But that's never ever going to happen then. But you are choosing after a certain point, aren't you?
Choose to look.
Yeah.
See, for me, I'm quite guarded now in terms of how I feel about people. But my relationship with people is just from the get go is like, we can be friends, we can hang out, we can, have a date here and there. But I'm not going to put myself in that position where I feel like I need to open up and be in love with you.
Yeah, so you're choosing not to be.
I'm choosing to let whatever it is go with the flow more than anything.
But then ultimately, once you finally love someone, you're going to say, well,
Yeah,
my
you're
question,
you're
did
still
you
gonna make a
choose to
choice.
love them, or did you love happen, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well,
So
That's
it
what
might. It might.
it's
But the thing
like-
is, it might just happen. It might just happen. Even like between you and a friend, like
yeah, but to
hypothetically.
make that thing happen, a choice still needs to be made, right?
Yeah, but it's not a choice. It's not for you to say I'm going to love this person.
But it is though.
I think Will saying it's not. Will saying is the feelings in the air that's
Yeah,
created that
yeah,
thing.
a bit more romantic
Yeah,
thinking about
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've all kind of dissected this question slightly differently, that kind of thing, right?
Mm.
Because I think Will was saying, if you fell in love with someone, did you choose to make that happen, or did love happen, that kind of thing?
Yeah,
And I'm more with Dave. Like, I met Leanne, and it weren't like chemistry suddenly in the air, like, oh my God, I'm in love, that kind of thing. I made a choice of, oh, I've been chatting to this girl. Oh, yeah, she ticks a lot of boxes. I'm going to choose to pursue this, choose to see where it goes. And then, finally, oh, yeah, I'm in love, that kind of thing. So,
yeah, but then that's what I'm saying. You chose to pursue it rather than you chose to be in love with this person.
No, but that's sort of what you're aiming for anyway. By making
Was it?
that choice.
Was it
Yeah.
though? Was that the aim?
as in, what is the aim of the end game of loving her? Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I see it as the potential.
I think majority the end game is loving someone and to be loved.
Yeah.
So I think you make whether it's conscious or subconscious, that thought is always in your mind.
Okay.
But I sort of get what you mean as well, Will. But yeah, just
I think it's more complex than how we're sort of actually
Simple
thinking
Minds
about
is doing it. Okay, but anyway, flip it, do a U-turn back to how I thought it meant. Do you think you can choose to love someone if they don't tick particular right boxes, and it's you're stuck circumstantially with this person? Do you think you can make a choice of, no, I'm gonna love this person actually?
Yeah.
Or would you ever forever remain resentful?
No. I think.
Well, it depends on the other person as well. If you're going to feel that it's reciprocated to you in terms of those feelings, when you both make that mutual commitment to each other, then that's different. But if it's one-sided, then obviously there's going to be resentment eventually.
Okay.
I think initially it's going to be fine, but eventually you'll feel like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm doing XYZ%, and you're not giving me anything. I'm trying so hard, but every time it's either pushback or it's rejected to a point where you feel like, well, what am I doing here? Then that is different. You can choose to be like, let's go for it.
Yeah. Because I think, Dave, you mentioned a bit like circumstantially if you're forced upon it, and I used examples of some of, like, people we know or whatnot, among friends who don't have a girlfriend or partner and whatnot, and then that's because people that they've meet is not ticking all their boxes, and they want all 10 out of 10 boxes ticked. Whereas my point of opinion is like, it's hard to get that, and you need to kind of, you're not, number one, you're not going to meet your fantasy woman, and number two, even if they exist, they're not going to probably like you back, that kind of thing. So you need to always take a step back and rein in your needs and wants and whatnot, and then meet someone who's, I don't know, lesser of your template, what you need, but you can make an effort to love that person, and they would be the same thing. Do you get what I mean?
You might love that person more than your initial thought of that template
the
person.
feelings will grow, and then you go on with that. And I'm just saying, I just think that there's more people out there. I always say there's someone out there for everyone, but you need to kind of open yourself to that. And some people are too shut off.
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised that no, you might not want to. This person might not tick all the boxes, but there might be something else about them. But you won't know that.
Absolutely,
you won't know that. And there's loads of stories that I know with friends that they met this person that they would never, ever, ever go for,
Yeah.
and they turned out to be their perfect person.
Exactly, because things develop. Like they'll like Will said, they'll offer other things, that kind of thing, and then the stuff that you didn't think of, you start finding endearing. But you get what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah,
I just think a lot of people should open out their hearts a bit more, and yes,
Yeah.
let love in, that kind of thing.
yes, definitely.
Okay, final question for you lot. So you had to do some homework. There was an article I just saw, and it says, look, Easter's coming up, so a lot of parents leave their kids at home. And he said there's actually no law of what age you can leave a kid at home. But
There is.
No, there isn't. There's actually there's no
Before
stated.
12 year.
No, it's
12-year-old,
recommended.
huh?
So there's no stated law of saying they have to be 12 before you can leave them at home. It's more of, because every child matures and grows differently. So there's a loose guideline. Like basically, if your kid's at 10 but mature, the court ain't going to say, oh, he's 10, I'm going to do you over. So the 12 is kind of like a stopgap, like a broad sense. So the question is, what's the youngest you lot remember being left at home by yourselves? And what would, as a parent, you lot would be happy to leave your kid at home to?
Oh, my mum and dad worked solid because they had family of 3 to raise. They needed the income for us to all to survive and have some sort of comfort in life. So I remember at the age of 7, 8, the only caveat to that is I didn't live too far from school. I lived about 5 to 10 minutes walk from school, from primary school. So, and I would take my sisters home as well. So if I was 7, 8, let's say 8, 6 and 5 were my sisters' sort of age group. There'll be, from time to time, my mum will come to pick us up, but I do recall maybe a little bit older, maybe 8, 9 then. Maybe 8, 9, then that's where I would go home with my sisters.
So it's 3 of you siblings, 3 under 9.
About 9, 8, 9, 10, roughly around that age. I remember coming home and just waiting for parents to come home, watching a bit of TV. To be honest, I don't think we were allowed to switch on the TV. It was always unplugged.
What did you lot? I basically have a similar experience to you, but because you're the eldest, mine's a bit flipped. But so, what did you lot do for food and dinner and all of that?
There'll be like wraps made. My mum would make sandwiches already in the fridge. There'll be some food in the fridge. If there wasn't food in the fridge, then we had snacks, because my parents would come home around 5. So we finished school 3:30 back in those days. So 1.5 hours from that point, when they come back 5, maybe dinner is at 6. Then we'd have a snack, but we wouldn't have like a full-on tea time thing or whatever. So it'll be crisps, there'll be croissants, muffins that we can dive into.
So wait, hold on. Did you say your parents are home at 5?
By 5, yeah.
They're home by 5.
By 5.
They were white collar.
You're still doing white collar jobs then?
Yeah. By that point, by that age, they were. My mum was an accountant.
Yeah.
At a family accountancy firm, so she had a bit more flexibility to come home a little bit earlier. And my dad, he worked all round. I remember him working in like his Western job and then going to restaurant to work as well.
But you got your mum's back by 5, so you're only home alone for not that long.
Not that long. Yeah, not that long.
My scenario would, so obviously I'm the youngest of 4.
Yeah.
My mum and dad went into takeaway business very early, so they are starting work at like 12 lunch.
Yeah.
And back then they work around the clock. And I don't know, I think I've mentioned it before, but we used to have a kebab shop. We used to have a kebab shop and Chinese in Stratford. And kebab shops don't close till 3 a.m. back in those days. So that's what those are the hours they were doing. So for that, I'm at home by myself. So I remember my next brother's 5 years older than me. So he would have started going to the shop at secondary school. So 11.
To help.
11. Yeah, well, not to help, but he will go with my sister, take the bus there. And when you say help, kind of like you come up day kind of thing, innit? At 11, and you're just chilling there, and I'm too young, so I don't go. So I'm at home by myself. So this is.
So you're at home by
at
yourself.
6.
How do you get? How do you get home then?
I'll go home. So this is not all the time. So originally, sometimes it's with my brother. My brother would pick me up from secondary school. So because it's 5 years, we never were in the same school. When he leaves primary, goes secondary, first year secondary, then I joined primary. So we were never really in the same school. We never overlapped. And then at 6, 7, 8, I had my own key. I just go home myself, and that's why people don't believe me. But I will cook my own gongjaemin, and you get the red stools.
Yeah.
You get the red stools. You put it on the thingy, and I match the lighter, turning the stove on, cooking that with a dan and all of that. Or mum and dad would always leave us little pocket money, like £5. Go down to Londis and buy those beef platters or chicken platters and ding it in the microwave 5 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. It's like compared to what back then and now, it's a world of difference. So if I'm left at home at 5, 6, and obviously they tell me the safety, don't ever open the door.
Don't play with fire, but you're already in the gas.
More clued up, like because you conform to what responsibilities is left with you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like if I'm left at home and I'll get used to leaving at home, I need to go out a bit more, right? Whereas now kids figure they're so pampered and that you can't just leave a 6-year-old at home because they would have no idea what's happening. Do you get me?
Didn't the Londis shopkeeper be like, what are you doing?
Man,
What?
back then it's different. Back then, you think about it, if you see a little 5-year-old, 6-year-old wondering now, you would be, what's going on? Where's their parent, right?
Yeah.
Back then, every kid's like, we're hanging around playing football and when we're not 6, but at 10, 11, we're outside playing football till night time, and it's a world different. So man, not a single question. There was only one question one day when I don't know how you're old, but I'm young, and I used to save up my pocket money and take it to the bank. So like this is literally coins or whatnot. I used to go to the bank and I used to go on myself. So I'm like 10. I used to walk to Devon High Street, Halifax, and then cash in like £30. I did that quite regularly, and there was one time where the woman's like, "It's like, where's your guardian?" And I was like, "It's just me." They're like, and so she questioned it, like it's a bit weird, like a little kid coming to the bank putting in money. And there was only one time anyone's ever like raised a question of what's this little youth doing, kind of thing. So I thought that's quite funny.
So do you find? So we'll go on to the next question later.
Of what age? Yeah.
Yeah, but do you find that you were like growing up now as a person now? You're very, very independent.
No. Because I think it's kind of not independent because like I don't do a lot of housework and whatnot. But when I was younger, I did. It's weird. I don't think I've stuck with that younger way. So even at home, they'll give me certain like not chores but requirements. I'm expected to clean the living room. I remember always cleaning the room, and the table needed to go to a certain place, so I tuck the table back in, mat toy, and then everything's okay. And so I don't. It's not like a Cinderella story where I think like, I'm so like I was like abused and now I'm kind of I don't know what's that, suffering mental illness or whatnot and all of that, or you know what I mean. I think it's just that was just my time of life then. And it's not really brought into my adult life, if that makes sense. But there are some bad stuff that I think that's come off that. So because basically my parents are away, I never had a set timetable to sleep. And I think, Dave, I spoke to you about this. But that's why my time, like, I'm such a night owl. Like, because now kids, like 7 p.m., go bed, 9 p.m., they have a set structure. Mine, I'm a little 6-year-old having to decide what time I'm going to go sleep. Do you get what I'm going to say? So that's why, like,
because they don't get back till 3.
They don't get back till late, so I need to go for my own sleep. And another thing, I don't know if you guys know, I'm scared of the dark. Do you get what I mean? So I used to always sleep when I had to leave the light on, kind of thing. So I'm borderline waiting for them to come home, but it's not always free. The weekend was free. A normal day is like 12, so they come home at 1. The weekend, like, they'll finish it, they close at 3, they come home at 4, kind of thing. So sometimes when I was younger, I remember staying up at 1 a.m. until they come back. And it transpired because I'm always late for primary school. And it always go again, our primary school is really close. Me and my brother used to go to the primary school ourselves. So our parents never really did that. Okay, let's all school run. So maybe I'm a bit effed up in the head, and this is why all making sense now of a traumatic childhood.
What about you, Dave?
I think it's more common when sort of our backgrounds are like from takeaway or Chinese, so not like your parents will. What colour?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's. But it's slightly different with me. because my mum was a housewife, so she was always at home. But sometimes she'll go shopping for hours and like leave us at home. So I think the earliest the age, I can't remember, might be 5 or 6. Same.
But that's just a quick pop to the shop.
Yeah. That's only for a few hours. It's not like a whole night.
Yeah.
But at that point, obviously we don't need to eat or anything like that. The only thing we did was obviously get up to no good, be very mischievous, and just jump on the bed, for example, because you can't do that when your mom's at home, right?
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But I think she wouldn't give it a second thought to leave us at home, and I think that was the sort of mentality back then.
Yeah, it was borderline allowed, but now
Yeah.
times has changed. Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's not allowed. You're saying
What, back then?
it's a recommendation. No, now these days it's just still a recommendation than law.
As in 12 is still a recommendation, but then it's a recommendation, but if you flaunt that and you leave your 6-year-old at home and they're not capable, they're not mature enough,
though. That's
negligence. Then you're in trouble. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's negligence.
So it's not like if he's 7, you're gonna get done because he's not met. Or let's say if he's 11. They're not going to do you because he's not met the 12-year-old threshold. It's
very grey. It's very grey.
Yes, that's why it's grey. It is quite grey.
Sorry,
but
Dave.
then you can have if they're mature enough, then they're fine. If that kind of thing. But then law is that you obviously don't leave babies at home, that because they can't fend for themselves. If you have a kid that can fend for themselves, they can be left.
I know that happened a lot in our age. I don't know about these days. I don't think it happens as much.
Only bad parenting it happens, but yeah, I think again we keep it among kind of a normal family, modern family. I think they need to be a bit more older now, and I would say, 12 sounds a good age, but I think if they're 10 and they know a bit about themselves, I'll be happily to leave them for a few hours, maybe.
I think for like when I was, 8, 9, 10, that sort of age, we kind of knew what was right and what was wrong. I wouldn't really go around messing about because I knew that I'll get a beating of my lifetime.
Yeah.
If any shit went down, right?
Do you think the 8-year-olds nowadays is as clued up as that, though? Do you have any 8-year-olds around?
If your parenting is done to a certain extent, then yes. But the reason why I was so surprised at that recommendation of 12 is that I always thought that you'd had to be sort of like a teenager to really started secondary school, have something about you, you're learning about life, you make your way home from school around that sort of age these days anyway. So I feel like I'm trying to see it with Melvin. He's 5 now, right? He's 6 in October. So I'm trying to visualize it, and I'm just like, I can't leave
no
this
way,
guy.
exactly. No way.
Yeah, I think that 8. I think even 9. Not.
Dave, those couple of kids at your.
No, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah, who was 9? And do you think they would be okay? Do you think they seem mature enough to be at home? For a whole evening.
9 was. God, I don't even know the age.
Boy and girl, maybe that boy and girl look like.
No, Jin was 8.
Okay, so that's fair enough.
So he probably doesn't, but but the twins were 10.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take the twins. Do you think the twins could be at home on their own?
Yeah, obviously they'll fight and bicker, but I think if they didn't need to go anywhere and just stayed at home, they're not going to burn the house down. Basically.
Yeah. To be fair, again, you take them face value, you tell them to just behave, watch TV, play. I think they have a good age.
I think Jin at 8 would even do that if you just tell him, that.
But then you say that, but you taking Jin for the case. Do you not think he can be manipulated by a weird person at the door to open the door? That kind of thing.
Well, you just maybe
Yeah,
maybe
do you know what I mean?
maybe
But you
go,
get instructions from the parents, though. Surely,
maybe
you get
yeah.
instructions from the parents. Surely,
maybe eight's a bit too young. Actually, Kathy was 9.
Yeah, I
The
think
younger,
again it's case by case, but I think
I
this.
think she would have been fine. So I think it's definitely case by case, and I think it depends on the individual. But it feels like girls are probably better at it than boys.
I think girls tend to listen to instructions more in terms of rebelling, like the tendency to rebel against certain requirements. Let's just say,
But
for lack of a better word.
yeah, the funny thing is, so when we were left at home, I was scared of opening the door anyway. So that was never going to be an issue for me. I was scared of opening the door, answering the phone. So to be honest, right, we just played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's nice to have that, knowing that you might like, no adults at home, so you can go a bit wild. But obviously, we didn't go crazy. But
Did you do anything wild at home? But
On my own, no. I just literally watch TV. Ate. So on my own, I never have any instances. Like I said, cooked noodles, never burnt the house down. That's fine. The only stupid thing I want that was but my sister was there. My sister's 8 years older than me, was at home with me, and she's reading a book, not listening to me. And I wanted to get this plug out, and it was really stiff. I grab a fucking teaspoon, and I jam it into, boom, like that, and then that shit me up. And then my parents come home and be like, "Why is the socket black?" And then I just explain to them. But I didn't get electric shock or anything. I survived, but it literally went poof like that. And we always remember that. So, but no, at home, no, nothing happened. Never opened a door. Nah, nothing wild.
yeah,
And
same.
I've made it.
Quite well behaved once we're home. Maybe fighting with the sisters, but that's normal. I think
that is normal.
that's normal. But nothing drastic around that. But then by the time you get to 12 teens and that, it you really do. You're your own person.
Yeah,
you
find
more
that
sturdy.
Age,
yeah.
I think
because you go home at that age by yourself. I think anyway, right?
Hmm.
I went home by myself at that
somewhat.
age.
Yeah, so you had a lot to fend for yourself.
Growing up to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
So would you do that? You were 6 that then. Would you let? That's what I'm finding so weird because I'm thinking about it now.
They're a bit different now. If I had my choice, I jokingly said to Leanne, like when Harvey's 6, I'm gonna teach him to make noodles. Right, get the store. She's like, no, like why put him in that danger when you don't need to, kind of thing. But I feel like I find that quite circle of life, innit? I did it. He should know how to do it. That kind of thing.
Circle of life.
But no, yeah, but no, I think he has to be old enough. Times have changed, and I don't know. Is the world? We think the world's more dangerous now, that kind of thing. Got to take that in mind as well, right? We know probably not, but
Well, were you supervised the first time you did all of that, or did you have to? I'm sure you wouldn't have worked it all out yourself.
Rolled into the deep end of it. Like I said, it was a gradual thing. So originally started, my brother would be there, my sister would be there, but as time go on, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna have to be right home by yourself. So I think, I was bedded in, kind of thing. I was always with my brother a lot, so it was me and my brother a lot. Like I said, he would have been 11 or 12. I'd be like 6, 7, kind of thing. So then it weren't like straight away we got to take away.
You had supervision. You had supervision. Basically.
My brother's a supervision, and he's 11, so that's the.
I feel like that. If it was a must, right? If I had to be working out late, then I would imagine there would be instances, if there was supervision, for him to do that. But because he does not have any supervision, it's a little bit more difficult to be like. Maybe when he's 8, I could probably nip quickly to the shop to get something and come back. That's probably the most it would be. That's the most. Because he'll be sitting there for an hour, hour and a half. He can sit there for watching something, or
he'd be fine just watching YouTube. Yeah. No, my brother did that. He popped to the shop and left his son at 8, but then he FaceTimed him, and then he's driving, and he kept on FaceTime. My brother's fine with that, but his wife does not like it. Like don't ever leave him at home on his own. That kind of thing. So, it's
everyone's different mentality because your brother's used to it.
Yeah.
Not used to it. He's had experience when he was younger. Should be fine, type thing.
I definitely feel that we've become overprotective. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I think that's because of what's happened.
It's not a good thing either.
But I think it's because it's a product of what's happened in the world. I feel like it's more accepted back in our day, where generally it's not accepted now, and there's probably new dangers now.
Yeah, it's new dangers and new knowledge, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
similar to like car seats. Yeah, we didn't need car, but now no one needed car seats back there. Now we all need car seats. You know what I mean? But it's knowledge, isn't it? Safety first. So yeah. Anyways,
Good.
leave it there.
All right, let's wrap that up. They were good questions, good research. Whose turn is it next week then?
Back to you.
Back to me. All right, let me do some homework for next week. If you've got questions that will help me out for the next week, so get your comments in. I'll try and put a link in for it, an anonymous question spreadsheet. I just wanted to say before we leave, was that for Yuki Tsunoda with that Oracle?
No.
Did you hear about the boot
This is
for Lawson?
The other guy that got rid of Sergio Perez. But I ain't a fan. This was just on sale and it's cheap, so I bought it.
Okay. Well, on that note, thank you for everyone who's watching this. So just make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks.
Peace out.